Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the West Coast versus Port Adelaide game, in which West Coast had a massive lead at quarter time, 19-0. But then Port Adelaide came storming back and ended up winning it by 13 points overall. It was a pretty good game in general, but I guess in the end, Port just ran over the top of what really should have been a better game for West Coast. They had a lead, they gave it up very, very quickly, and in the end, they also kicked the last goal. So it was about a 20-point margin for a large part of that fourth quarter, and even back into the third, maybe. I don't know if Port actually did. Port scored 2 goals early in the fourth quarter, and then West Coast kicked back with a goal. But yeah, West Coast should have got a lot closer in that game, in my opinion. Should have probably even won it from the position that they were in. So anyway, let's jump into this video here. Ella Roberts, I did record this earlier, but had to re-record this. And from memory, Ella Roberts had 5 marks, 5 tackles average, and so she is most likely the best marker in the comp. And for 5 marks, you can just see what I was referencing in the Richmond review or game review against Collingwood, that these girls that have a high mark game just do not stand up, because the men's, I believe, and I'll bring up on the stats leaders, for men's is their marks per game. Can I have an average? Marks per game, Luke Ryan, 8.6. And for reference, Ella Roberts at her 5.1 or 5 would be around about the 130 marker in the comp. 130, 120 marker in the comp for the men's, which would be about the 6th or 7th best on any team. So yeah, it just shows that her marking as being the best in the comp really doesn't translate as well to the men's game if you were to plant her in, because even if you were to give her the 85% or the bonus 15% that she'd have, that would still only put her at 5.8. And 5.8 for marking is still only at the point of being around about the 60th best in the comp. So there'd still be probably about 2 or 3 players in each team above her in terms of marking. So it just shows, I think, it doesn't translate as well to the women's game comparative to those that have a high tackling base. And that's why I always mention the tackling base. Lewis, same thing, sort of applies, 100 there, so she gets a lot of the ball, 26 touches, Roberts 27. Charlotte Thomas, 19 touches, we went through this as well. Where's the kick-in stats? It's here, we went through that. We'll just show Daisy Darcy here quickly. You can see how she is translating really well to scoring points, because she doesn't rely on marking the ball, and so does and as they rely on kick-ins and stuff like that, so does the likes of Charlotte Thomas. Charlotte Thomas has got 100 points in 7 games. So she has got about, 13 points a game, give or take? 100 divided by 7. 99 divided by 7. 14.14 points per game from kick-ins. That's pretty good points per game. That's going to add up eventually. So yeah, and I just want to also check what is the likes of Daisy Darcy at. Is she around that 30 marker? 27, so not as many, but still same logic applies there. Through 7 games, she's up there. Okay, Swanson, I'm actually surprised about this. I did look back this, and was one of the reasons why I had to restart, because it stuffed up my recording. But she has actually been playing off halfback, and if I show it here, you'll see it directly, very, very easily. You can see, here's the first game of the season she played, 62%. You can see that flip in there. But then if we just go here and we just go here, and you can see the CBAs, look, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and if I pull that up a little bit, you'll see high halfback, and that number suggests, that heat map suggests halfback. There's no denying that heat map suggests halfback. She's playing 0% CBAs, which is an indicator. It's not everything, but when you combine the CBAs with the heat map, then it tends to suggest to you where they're playing, because that does not suggest to me that she's playing on ball at all. As well, given the fact that look at her tackle numbers as well, they've fallen off a cliff. So tackle numbers off the cliff, marking a little bit off the cliff, but not as much. And her kick to handball ratio has also gone up, which would also suggest that she's not getting as many contested possessions. Let me actually, Emma Swanson stats. Because I'm pretty sure I can do, is it this one here? Maybe this one doesn't. I want game stats. I want her contested possessions if I can grab that, but I don't know if I'll be able to, where I'll be able to grab that. Swanson, I spelled her name wrong. That's probably half the reason why. Is it? Swanson stats, that one we already looked into. Swanson, nope. I forget where I can grab them up. But there's a stat where you can grab up the contested possessions, but I can't seem to find it at the moment, which is a little bit annoying. Is it this one? Is it this one or is it not? Clearances. Give me. Where are the stats here? Well, let's just go back to here, and I think you'll be able to see it as well. Clearances, you can also see are just fallen off a cliff as well. You can see that as well, which is another indicator that she's not playing on ball. Her clearances have fallen off, and that's part of the reason. Let's see if advanced stats will show as well. Contested marking, contested possessions as well, fallen off a cliff. So that's where I was looking. That's what I was looking for. You can see that those are 4 or 5 direct indicators, as well as you could just probably look at her in game. But there's 5, if not 6 indicators that she's playing off halfback. Swanson, Drennan 60, Weston Bushby. Weston's been one that I've surprised has actually scored pretty well, but she's still up there in scoring. Roxy Ruse, I think it is. Goranova, Smith, Schilling. Schilling's been one that's sort of been up and down and everywhere and about this year. 40, 60, 30, 20. She's had pretty much every scorer from 20 to 60, I think, like in every single teams. We can see here a 60, a 22. So she's got the 20s, the 60s, the 30s, the 10s. The 30s, the 20s, the 40s. So she just needs a 50 score, and she's gone all the way from the 10s to the 60s, which just shows how up and down she's been. Sonia Bakker is actually doing pretty well in her role. I'm pretty sure she was on, I want to say Dowrick, which the whole Dowrick to 19 isn't the worst. Lacaze, Simons, a Wakefer, Cleaver as well, 25, not the worst. Wrench, Lyons, Britton, and Harkin. Britton as well, someone that I think had a couple of good games, and then leading into a double, I think a lot of people got foxed, and then I'm pretty sure she's come back to earth. Schultz looks a lot better in this single ruck role. As you see, Levecki, has limited ruck time. If we actually go to Schultz, I think it has the ruck contest percentage. If I just quickly clear all that out there. Okay, let's go down here. Ruck contest percentage, 75%. You can see to start the year, she was in this 40 to 50s, and then the last couple games, she's really rocketed up, and you can see that she's having a lot more impact in the last sort of 3 games even this game, she had 58, but it was against Richmond. I think it was against Tamara Luke. I don't think it had Pop Kelly in it. But you can see in the last 2 games, she started to in the last 3 games, she's found a different role, I would say, is the best way to put it, and she's definitely done a lot better. Youth and CBAs the last couple of weeks. But yeah, just generally scoring a lot better. And that 26 could be impactful come next year if she averaging 67. She could be, if she plays solo next year, I would suspect that she's a 78 to 80 type of scorer, to be honest with you. Moving down, Dowrick 75. Wendland's been one of the surprise packets, I think, for all the talk of the Port Adelaide midfield of Window and Goody. I think Wendland's surprisingly gone along pretty well. Probably averaged in the low 50s. Yeah, 50.7. You can see that there. But after having a pretty, that was a good start, and then sort of, she's always just been around the marker. So I don't know what her price is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's around that 550, 600k marker. Then we go back here. Houghton, Goody as well, 62, was forced to tag Roberts and did an alright job in the second quarter, but after that, Roberts found a way. St. Brooksby, Maloney, Hammond, Foley, Gamak, Bog, Stewart, Mills, Robinson, Levecki, Pope, Teakle, Window down here on 26, so I think she's finally probably just burned out, I think, a little bit. I think also probably her TOG is really not allowing her to score, so I think she might be a little bit finally hitting that sort of rookie wall that we talk about a little bit with the men's game. 48.9, so Wendland's actually scoring better than her. I also just want to check what's Goody's. Goody, give me Goody here. Goody 58, so she's averaging the best, but not by much over Wendland. And has had some definite up and down games. I remember that 34, putting her on field for that 34 was annoying. O'Day, Brook, and Borg. So anyway, that is the video there going through the West Coast versus Port Adelaide game, showing people that CBAs can be a tool, as well as looking at a majority of other tools to figure out where players' positionings are, because CBAs aren't the be all and end all, but they are a decent indication normally about a player's positioning and role in the side. So anyway, if you did enjoy that, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.